wanted to do a short follow-up to my video the other day to Das American Atheist, which isn't to him exactly, but it's what he does and what a lot of other people do that I have trouble understanding why. And I'm doing this on my phone, so I'm sorry about the quality. But a lot of the philosophers and scholars and many religious people and secularists arguing against it are arguing against the logic of the beliefs, logical fallacies, arguing that the events in the book are inaccurate. Inaccurate. Yeah, that's the understatement of the century. I tend to look at the whole religion documented religions, biblical religions with a text. I tend to look at the whole thing really from the point of view that the book is bullshit. The whole thing. We had another therapist here that was Catholic, and she always loved to argue the harmony of the Gospels and that God was trying to say this, or if you look in history, this really happened. And I would listen and go, oh, well, that's interesting, and I would even argue some of the points with her, because, arguing is kind of fun. But at the end of it, the thing that seemed most frustrating to her, and to many others, because they just don't even think about it, is that I go, well, that was fun to argue about, but, I don't put any faith in the Bible as a historical document. It's just a book that somebody wrote. It doesn't affect whether I believe or disbelieve. Words written in a book thousands of years ago will only convince me of what those people thought at the time, or that it was some stories or some part of culture. A book would never convince me that there's an invisible creator in the universe affecting my life and having actions and power over me. What would be evidence of said interactions and powers. A book written thousands of years ago saying something had power is just a book, and I take it as a cultural phenomenon and historical in the aspect that the book was written, and you can get some ideas as to the culture and the people and their thought processes of at the time that the books or the words were written. So I'm always confused, especially when I take the hallucinogen aspect and the drugs influencing the invisible realm and what people believe is forces in the universe. But people take the logic, they try and argue logically a belief or against a belief that is largely propagated by a book that they don't believe in. So they're arguing the logic, and more than likely arguing the logic against a belief that was induced by hallucinogens. I hope that impresses upon people the futility of arguing logically about the context in the Bible or in other religious texts, and also arguing logically against people's experiences. Because you take a hallucinogenic drug, you have actual experiences. They are real experiences. But do they affect others? Belief in things affects people, but only through people. I'm not exactly sure what the point of this video was, but I kind of wanted to get it out there that I try not to even argue the logic behind the arguments or the logic behind the beliefs, or I mean, I still will here and there because I like to argue, but I always do it with the knowledge in my head that it's all bullshit to begin with. It's, to me, kind of like arguing the logic behind what Commander Adama did in Battlestar Galactica. I can argue for hours about the actions in the series, or in any series, a television show or a movie. I can argue Star Wars and motivations, but there's always the inherent knowledge that it's fantasy. And I think if most of us, or if the rest of us, acknowledged that fact, we would have a lot less stress and a lot easier time dealing with others' beliefs and hallucinations. Thanks for listening. Peace.